Yes.
met with my friend Giselle, and I know that you were really active also before your brain tumor, and
Yeah.
you were modeling with one of the top agencies, Wilhelmina. You danced with top dancers and top companies.
Well, my dance career, I started dancing at a very young age. I'm 8 years old. In Because my mother saw that I had all this crazy energy and I was a wild child. She used to say, Zazel, you run out of my belly. You run out of my belly because I was always so, you know. So my godmother told her, why don't you put her in a dancing school where my daughter is going to in Harlem called the Ruth Williams Dance Studio. And that just did it for me. I just love being on stage. We used to have
Hmm.
yearly recitals at either Carnegie Hall or Lincoln Center. And we buy all those. You remember those costumes they used to put you in? I was taking tap and ballet, and I
Yeah,
would have tutus and my tap shoes on, and I used to love it. I mean, I would love seeing that huge audience and putting on this big smile and dancing. So the dancing was just in my blood. I just love putting out all that kind of energy and having fun and meeting a lot of great people. So then I left Ruth Williams and I went to a school located here in Queens where I live, called the Bernice Johnson Dance Studio. And at Bernice Johnson, she dealt with stars. I mean, all the stars went to Michael Peters and Ben Vereen, and it was extremely competitive. Everyone was, trying to be at the top. But at Bernice Johnson, that's where I met a teacher who helped me audition for the High School of Performing Arts. And I got accepted to the High School of Performing Arts, and that did it. That just put my life in a totally different direction. Being in that
wonderful.
competitive school, and I was a ballet major, believe it or not, me with this bald head. I used to wear my hair in a bun with flowers and have my nice
Yeah,
ballet skirts on and wearing my
that was a
pointe
big
shoes.
thing. Yeah.
It was a huge thing. I mean, I was addicted to ballet, addicted. I would go to the library and get books out with Margot Fontaine and Nureyev and Vereshnikov, and I would take classes at ABT, and then I got accepted. I don't remember which one I got accepted to first, but I think it was Dances of Harlem. I got there, and I was in the I can't remember what group. I didn't become an apprentice at first because it was so challenging, and Arthur Mitchell was he was a very difficult person, very difficult. That's all I have to say. But he was amazing. I mean, he taught you like no other teacher. And this was the first time I dealt with a disabled teacher. She was one of our ballet teachers. Her name was Tana Gill Leclerc. I
Yeah.
don't know if you ever. She was married to George Balanchine, and
Wow.
she taught us. And because I was in the advanced class, and she taught us, and she was in a wheelchair. She was the first person who was had polio, and she lost her mobility. She was in a wheelchair, and this was before you know dancing with a wheelchair became accepted. And she taught us. She would wheel her leg underneath our leg in second position and put her wheelchair right underneath us so we couldn't
Once a
drop our leg.
dancer, always a dancer.
Yes, she was brutal. We have our Arabesque, and she would wheel her wheelchair under our legs, and she would just do tantu, 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 with her hands. She was brutal. But in any event, I just loved being at Dance of Harlem, and it was very competitive. And then I went to ALE, and I was on merit scholarship there, and it was just so competitive, just being there and dancing with everyone and making friends, and studying Graham and Horton and ballet, and it was just wonderful. And after working with them for a period of time, I went to college, University of Michigan, and majored in dance. And once again, worked with some tremendous people. And everyone told me, like, why are you in college? You should be performing more. You need to get out
Wow.
of there. Yeah. But I still pursued college, although I was majoring in dance in an academic um, arena, which was very difficult. But I stayed focused. Um,
Yeah,
and
people don't understand. If I want to jump in one
yeah,
second, people don't understand that when you are a dance major, like I majored in dance at Mercyhurst University. you
Right.
still have to take all your other courses.
Yeah, you have to take all the academic courses.
Yes, your philosophy, your math, your
Math,
science, your
English. Yeah, I mean, you have to
so
take kinesiology. You have to take all of those courses. Yeah,
I
I
just want to
mean,
set people straight.
exactly, exactly. I mean, it was very difficult because you're dancing, you're rehearsing, you're performing. I mean, I was out of my dorm at like 7 o'clock in the morning, going to rehearsals or being at the ballet bar by 8 o'clock. You
Yes.
know, yeah. I mean, it was very, very difficult. You didn't have a normal life, being in the School of the Arts. If you were a dance major, theater, or music, you were totally different than anyone else on the campus. So make a long story short, I had several different jobs within entertainment as when I left school, I started to do more musical theater and then I moved to Europe and I taught dance in Germany for a while and started to do shows in
Beautiful.
Germany and I stayed there for 2, 3 years or whatever, which was tremendous. I met a lot of expatriates, persons who were from the States, but found more opportunities living in Germany or in Europe in general. And so that was great. That was just like an eye-opening experience for me. And then other things started to happen, and I was here in New York, and I got discovered by the beauty editor of Essence magazine, and one thing led to another, and I got my first cover of Essence magazine. They don't put normal models anymore on covers; they put all celebrities. So that was before my time. Um, but that was tremendous, and that just put me in a totally different direction. But although I was modeling, I still remained a dancer because that was that took my focus off of modeling because modeling could be so competitive and grueling. Um, so I always focused on my dance and acting and what have you, and still, went out on bookings and and continued my life. But then fast forward, I don't want to keep talking about that. Fast forward, I recognized after I was, with Wilhelmina and I had signed with a commercial agency, Cunningham, Escott and DePini, Slevin and DePini, and, was doing commercials and voiceovers and what have you. I realized as I was getting older that things were changing.
Mhm.
And the business starts changing when you're getting older. They start sending you out to calls that are different, like, oh, you could play a mom, or they're not sending you to the things where you're the femme fatale anymore. So I realized, I said, oh, okay, Giselle, you might have to start transitioning into what you want to do after you get older. And this is what I was thinking at that time. And then boom, my health started to change. I started
Yeah.
to get tired and sleepy, and to make a long story short, that kept going on for several years where things were changing within my body. And then lo and behold, I was diagnosed with a brain tumor, and that
Wow.
completely changed my life and put me in a different direction.
Well, I really want to say that we are so blessed to have you as a survivor and as an inspiration. We're gonna take a short break, and then I want to come and talk to you a little bit about ZCO Dance
Yes,
Project and
yes.
the wonderful company you've created. So
Okay,
let's take a short break, and we'll be back.
okay.